Located in San Francisco's Japantown, Nihonmachi Little Friends has been providing quality, educational, and affordable services for preschool and after-school children since 1975.
There was a big push at that time to reconnect to our cultural background and heritage. And for many of us at Sansei, we felt that we didn't have that because of the concentration camps during World War II and all that. So the idea for Nihonmachi Little Friends was to really try to reconnect people to their cultural background, but also to expose children to other cultures as well.
Little Friends is like a family to me. The teachers are very dedicated and nurturing, and they enjoy being with the kids. I love working with children. There are the challenges, but when you see like one of the little kids smiling at you or coming to give you a big hug, it just kind of all melts away.
If you want to provide a safer community that you can really safely feel comfortable to send your child visit a school. Parents can tend to get stressed out raising children in the city, but you're not the one raising your child. This community, whole community is behind you to raise your child.
At Nihonmachi Little Friends, children are taught Japanese and learn about the Japanese culture. But the school is also proud of its diversity.
And I appreciated, for example, that the kids would learn about Cinco de Mayo and Chinese Lunar New Year. And so they had a wonderful wealth of experiences that I think is so appropriate for kids being raised here in the Bay Area.
It was just a wonderful experience for my kids. Their whole world really was shaped from being in Little Friends, and they have turned into great, great people.
I chose to have Nihonmachi Little Friends as our after school, mostly because of the community. A lot of the kids that they go to school with come here, and being in this Japanese language program for public schools, the after school program really was a good fit for that, and I don't know, it just felt right.
My children, by going to Nihonmachi Little Friends, they were exposed to Japanese culture and food. They participated in community festivals. If they went to another preschool that was kind of out of the area, maybe they wouldn't have had that opportunity to participate.
Having my kids come to the school, they've gotten the Japanese culture and the language, but they've also gained lifelong friends.
There is a playground for recreation, and freshly prepared meals are served twice a day.
And so there's a good mix of Asian foods, Japanese Asian foods, as well as other types of food that the children enjoy. And there are several times a year where the children help make and prepare the meals as well. And it's a good way for them to learn more about good nutrition and encourage them to try different types of food.
They had talked about, we provide a lunch, but I thought it was going to be sort of modest, But I came in, there was a spread of vegetables, rice, and stir fry, and I'm like, wow.
They'll have a lot of gratitude for Little Friends. I feel like, seriously, like in a way, like don't tell my mom, but like I feel like in a way they were better parents to me than my parents.
NLF alums have returned as parents, staff, and volunteers. Oakland Asian Cultural Center Executive Director Tamiko Wong is a Nihonmachi Little Friends alum.
They were really nurturing, really like caring, and honestly, like they were kind of like my family. I was like a little bratty kid, didn't like to go for naps and all those kind of things, and they just had so much patience and love and care, and I just felt like just really at home.
While the school was founded in 1975, its main building at 1830 Sutter has a much longer history. In 1912, the first generation of Japanese women, the Issei, raised money to buy the lot. Racist property laws prevented them from owning the land, so they had the San Francisco YWCA hold the title in trust. But in 1996, the Y put the building up for sale. The Japanese community filed a lawsuit and prevailed after evidence of the original trust agreement was found.
So while this building houses a very important child care center here, it actually symbolizes things that are far more important. The courage of Japanese immigrants to raise the money to erect this building at a time when the laws were totally against them and actually prevented them from owning property. The courage of the churches to support that effort and the community support that effort, and other people that stepped up to preserve and protect this particular building, including Nihonmachi Little Friends. So it represents a very important part of San Francisco and California history.
Constructed in 1932, the building was designed by world-famous architect Julia Morgan, who also designed Hearst Castle. She did the work for free.
Julia Morgan really had a sense of the disparity between haves and have-nots. She was an advocate for women because of her own experiences. She was the first woman architect to be licensed in California. She was the first woman to study at the Academy of Beaux-Arts in France. She had to petition and fight to do this, so she understood those struggles.
The auditorium features an authentic no-theater stage, the only one in the western United States, and a tokonomo, a special alcove adjoining the stage which is used for tea ceremonies. Nihonmachi Little Friends currently holds classes in two separate locations, one at 1830 Sutter and at 2031 Bush in the historic Kinman Gakuen building, a place where many Japanese Americans had to register before being interned during World War II. But there are plans to bring the preschools under one roof. NLF is creating a new addition on the lot next to the Julia Morgan Design building. This will allow Little Friends to increase its enrollment while preserving its historic past.
The side lot that is going to be the site of the expansion was actually the first lot that the Issei women wanted to buy, and the owner refused to sell to them. And so there's kind of a sense of justice coming around, that the Issei women are finally getting their lot. They're getting the opportunity to create that institution, and we are the vehicle for doing that.
It's very humble, but it's also strong. It's not a weak building. It has a great entry, it has its own identity, but it marries to this older building very well. It doesn't overwhelm this building. It stays behind a little bit, and it's like a shadow, like Japanese people talk about shadows, and it is like a shadow, but it is still strong and has its own strength about it.
To make this plan a reality, the school has started the Plant a Seed campaign to help raise the $3.5 million needed for construction. Groundbreaking is scheduled for 2015. Its completion is not just important for Little Friends, but the entire Japantown community.
Families bring their children here and they patronize the local businesses, so it helps keep Japantown viable, and I think that's really important because there are only 3 Japantowns left in the whole U.S.
My own children went through the program, and hopefully this program will be here for their children and for many other generations. So that's really what it's about, being rooted in the community, staying here, and helping to grow the community and building that permanence not only for Nihonmachi Little Friends, but for Japantown and the neighboring community as well.
With your help, Nihonmachi Little Friends can build on the past and provide a quality learning environment in Japantown for future generations.